Alright guys, FK here. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I went about shooting this video that's playing in the background right now. Now the aim of the video was fairly straightforward. We wanted to go for something soft, wanted to go for something kind of emotional, bright, fresh, kind of tranquil. So this set the foundation for basically every other decision that we made. The lighting, styling, posing, makeup, camera movement, and obviously the sound and the editing and all of that. So first off, let's talk about lighting. Number one, we wanted something bright. So I wanted something large, something big, and we decided to go with a big 6x6 Lastalite scrim, which we put in the background. That acted as both a backdrop and as a main light, because behind the scrim we had two big LED lights. There was no light at the front, so what was happening was getting this rim light effect, and it was kind of like wrapping around the outside, and that was creating this really kind of nice semi-silhouette type effect, and it just created a really nice kind of emotional start to the video. For the second light setup, we brought one of the LED lights out from the background and brought it around to the front, but we diffused that as well with another Lastalite scrim. This was a 3x6, and that created some really nice, soft, beautiful light that was kind of like painterly coming in from the camera left side to the model right. And then in order to bounce and even that out, we had a very small circular reflector on the opposite side, and essentially we also still had the backlight, and that kind of created a whole light tent, and everything came out beautifully soft. The final light setup, we wanted a kind of a mixture between the two, but this time used some natural window light that was coming in from camera left, diffused that with the 3x6 again, and this worked really well when we had the fabric which was kind of flowing in the wind, and there was a fan kind of blowing that and creating a little bit of movement. Now let's go on to camera settings. In fact, let's go on to camera gear. Obviously, it's a Panasonic GH4. We shot things at both 4K 24 and 1080p 60. I wanted to combine some slow motion shots with some 4K shots, purely because I wanted to be able to crop in later on, reframe, and do a little bit of camera movement in post. Obviously, we set the white balance in camera, something you have to do with the GH4. It's not the most accurate auto white balance, so you want to get that right in camera. So we used lots of Canon glass for this shoot. We used a 70-200, 24-70, and the 100mm macro. They were all attached using the Metabone Speed Booster XL. Now in terms of the posing and the model direction, obviously I spoke to the model beforehand. We talked about kind of posing to be very, very kind of like soft and subdued. And then also we had a period where she was kind of like moving and almost like ballet-esque. We added a few little props as well, like a rose and some fabric and so forth. And that leads us on really nicely to both the styling and the little accessories. Styling obviously had to complement the theme and the sound and everything. Had lots of different options, all bought from thrift stores and charity shops and stuff like that. You can buy stuff proper cheap, you don't have to spend a lot of money. And in the end we settled with a little corset which was all kind of frilly and lacy, and it had a few little ribbons and chains hanging off it, and that was the only piece of styling we used in the whole shoot. Accessories, we had a little pendant with some pearls and little kind of silvery coins. We had, like I said, the rose, and then we had a little bit of fabric. So we didn't really have much in terms of costume and so forth. Kept it quite simple, and that was actually the whole idea really, was to keep it quite minimal. And then this leads us on perfectly to makeup. So the makeup was soft, it wasn't heavily contoured. Very, very delicate application of makeup, a little bit of pink in the cheeks. Big thanks to Artist Makeup Studio for sorting that out. And then it leads us finally into editing. Now when it came to editing, I did already have a piece of music in mind for the shoot, and that was actually playing in the background whilst the model was acting. And she could actually get into the mood and the pace of the track, and that really helped sell the effect afterwards. However, like all things, sometimes things do change, and in the end I actually went with another piece of music which I found whilst I was browsing the internet, and it was absolutely perfect because there were some really soft areas, then there was a little bit of area of tension, and there was kind of like a dramatic build-up. And that kind of led us in really nicely to the part where the fabric is flowing. The audio obviously is absolutely critical because that dictates the pace of the edit and the transitions and what kind of transitions and when they're going to happen. And that was all kind of just brought together in the end. And it just worked out really nice. So in the end, I was really happy with what we got. It was a really nice little collaboration, very, very small team. It lasted no more than about an hour in total. So overall, it came out really good. If you liked the video, if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you click the link below. I'll also put all the description and all the gear that I used for the shoot. And if you've got any questions, just ask. If you'd like to subscribe, do it. And if you'd like to give me a thumbs up, awesome. And I will hopefully see you next time.